all had those moments, haven't we, where everything feels aligned, like the universe is just shouting, go, go, go.
Mm-hmm. That feeling of pure potential.
And then, bam, a wall appears, like a serious roadblock. How do we even begin to make sense of those mixed signals?
Yeah, it's confusing.
It's like the universe sends you this express ticket straight to your dreams, and then immediately activates some kind of unmovable traffic jam right in front of you.
Yeah,
You almost
exactly.
want to throw your hands up and say, are you kidding me right now? So today we're doing an exploration into precisely that interplay of cosmic encouragement and, well, earthly friction.
It's a fascinating and honestly incredibly relatable dance between opportunity and challenge.
Hmm.
It really shows us what wisdom we can glean when both appear pretty much simultaneously.
Right.
And we're diving into this using the astrology of the day for 22 June 2025, and also this really captivating story called The Path of Emerald Light. Both were shared with us from Tarot by High C.
Right. So our mission for this journey into the source material is really to break down these insights. We want you to better understand how to navigate those moments when the path ahead seems both wide open and totally obstructed.
Turning those potential frustrations, those dead ends, into real opportunities for growth.
Okay, so with that cosmic encouragement in mind, let's zoom in on what the astrology of this specific day, June 22nd, actually suggests. And it starts with, a powerful push forward. We're talking Mars sextile Jupiter.
Ah, yes, a classic green light aspect.
Exactly. So when we talk about Mars sextile Jupiter, the sextile is a harmonious, supportive angle in astrology. So your drive, your initiative, that's Mars, is getting this incredible expansive boost from Jupiter, planet of growth, opportunity.
Luck even sometimes.
Right. It really is described as a cosmic green light for action, optimism, and expansion. It enhances our ability to take risks, seize opportunities. You feel this surge, this belief in yourself, an eagerness to act.
You feel energized.
But, and this is important, the source material does offer a crucial caution. It suggests it can still be, and I'm quoting here, difficult to express our fire without getting burnt.
And what's fascinating there is how this green light isn't just about speed, like you just said. This aspect doesn't just push you forward blindly. It aims to align that action with emotional purpose. It's about steady, thoughtful momentum.
Okay, so thoughtfulness within the action.
Precisely. It encourages you to follow your intuition because that will lead you to the best possible outcome, even if circumstances temporarily block you. It sort of implies that the initial impulse, that urge to go, it's divinely guided, even if the execution needs a bit of refinement or patience.
That's such a crucial distinction. Wow, so it's not just about hitting the gas pedal, but about trusting the direction you're pointed in, even if you suddenly have to, tap the brakes.
Exactly. Trust the impulse, adjust the approach.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit contradictory, right? Just as we're feeling this surge of optimistic go-getter energy, the afternoon brings a totally different astrological vibe. We're talking Sun square Saturn. Now, a square that's often seen as a challenging angle, right? Tension-filled.
Yes, squares represent friction, challenge, points where growth happens through effort.
So the sun, our core self, our purpose, is feeling this direct pressure from the Saturn planet of responsibility, limits, boundaries, long-term structures. That sounds like quite a shift from our Mars-Jupiter green light, like hitting the brakes hard.
It is a shift, a
Yeah.
significant one.
Yeah.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the Sun square Saturn really represents those moments of restriction, maybe obligation, popping up.
Okay.
The source material reminds us that if we do encounter these roadblocks, the feeling is that they are likely temporary. But there can be quite a bit of push-pull energy.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it requires us to, as the source says, check the foundation, take a deep breath, and just be patient. It also really emphasizes the need for healthy, self-nurturing care if you start feeling overburdened by it all.
So it's almost like the universe is saying, yes, move forward, full steam ahead. But first, just double-check your foundations, check your brakes.
Ah, that's a great way to put it. Check your brakes.
Yeah.
Ensure the structure can handle the expansion.
So we're talking initial green lights and then these very real, challenging roadblocks. How does one even begin to navigate a day that feels so, fundamentally contradictory? It sounds like cosmic whiplash.
It can feel like that.
Are there any other astrological notes in the source that help us maybe integrate these energies throughout the day, sort of bridge the gap?
Absolutely, yeah. There are a couple more helpful guides mentioned that provide a path through this apparent contradiction. Around midday, we get the Taurus moon sextile Mercury.
Okay, Taurus moon, grounded. Mercury on communication, thinking.
Exactly. So that supports practical communication, grounded decision-making. It's a good moment to maybe thoughtfully process any challenges that have come up, sort of talk it through, plan logically.
Makes sense.
Then, as evening approaches, the moon shifts into Gemini, more adaptable, communicative energy. And then we get the Gemini moon sextile, both Saturn and Neptune.
Oh, interesting. Saturn for structure, Neptune for intuition, dreams.
You got it. So this combination encourages a balance between structure and imagination, practicality and intuition. It really helps us integrate these diverse energies rather than feeling pulled apart by them. It's a reminder to think flexibly, maybe creatively, while still staying grounded in reality.
Okay, that helps frame it. It's not just contradiction, it's complexity that needs integration.
Precisely.
Now, it's one thing to talk about these cosmic energies in the abstract, right? But how does this actually play out in, like, a real-life journey? Our source provides this beautiful narrative, a story that illustrates these principles perfectly. Let's meet Eleanor. She's described as a young seeker, and her story really captures this dynamic. What was her big dream, and how did her journey begin?
Eleanor, yes. She's described as this young seeker with dreams that others deem too grand, too improbable. Visions of crossing the legendary endless veil, speaking with sentient stars, finding the well of purpose. Big stuff.
Definitely big stuff, not just get a promotion kind of dreams.
Not at all. And her story kicks off with this truly magical moment. On the dawn of a rare alignment, which the text implies is the very Mars sextile Jupiter we just discussed, an otherworldly green light streaked across the heavens.
Wow.
Yeah. And this gave Eleanor a clear cosmic signal that the time to act had arrived. No ambiguity there.
And she didn't hesitate, did she? Heart pounding with that surge of energy, just like the Mars-Jupiter vibe suggests.
Not for a second. She immediately gathered her special items, a charm of lapis lazuli, a sprig of sage, her father's old star map, tools for the journey.
Right.
And the path before her literally glowed a winding emerald ribbon through the dense mists of the forgotten forest.
So Eleanor receives her cosmic green light, crystal clear, and sets out full of purpose, full of that optimistic energy. But, just like our astrological overview hinted, her journey isn't exactly straightforward, is it?
No, not at all.
What obstacles does she face? How does it mirror those challenging planetary alignments, like the Sun-Saturn square?
Well, her path very quickly started to mirror the day's complex energies. Not long into her journey, the air grew heavy, the source says, and that once clear emerald trail started to dim. This reflects the sun clashing with Saturn above.
Ah, the shift happens.
Exactly. She first encounters these invisible walls of obligation and fear, internal resistance maybe, then gets more external, a sudden downpour of icy rain, and finally, the big one, a great stone gate, ancient and unyielding, that completely barred her way.
A literal stone gate. Wow.
Yep. And the source describes this force that pressed her back. It wasn't like malicious or cruel, but firm, as though it demanded something from her she had yet to offer.
Oof. That's that classic feeling, isn't it? Hitting an unexpected solid wall right after you got the clearest signal imaginable to go.
Absolutely. The ultimate what gives moment.
Eleanor must have been incredibly frustrated, thinking, but the universe told me to go. The light was green. How does she respond to this unexpected resistance, and what wisdom does she eventually receive?
Well, her initial reaction is definitely one of frustration, just like you'd expect, like any of us would feel. She apparently sank down beneath an ancient cedar tree, just whispering to the storm, "Why now? Why now when the sign said it was time?" Classic human response, right?
Totally.
But then a quiet, profound voice answered her from within, or perhaps from the storm itself. It said, "Not all green lights mean the road is clear. Sometimes the way is revealed not in speed, but in stillness."
Not in speed, but in stillness. That really hits the core tension, doesn't it? The push to act versus the potential need to pause and reflect.
Exactly. It challenges that common assumption that a go signal means an easy, obstacle-free path.
So that's a really powerful shift in perspective she receives there. But it raises the question, okay, how does Eleanor actually use that wisdom? How does she shift from that understandable frustration, having heard this insight, to an actual breakthrough past the stone gate?
She takes some really practical, grounded steps. It's not just about understanding the wisdom, it's about applying it. She remembers the herbs she carried.
Ah, the sage. Well, maybe other herbs too.
The story mentions lemon balm and rosemary. She brews tea from them, letting the steam calm her spirit. A very practical, nurturing action.
Right, self-care, like the astrology hinted at.
Precisely. Then she places her lapis lazuli charm against her heart, closes her eyes, and consciously surrenders to the quiet, to that stillness the voice spoke of.
Okay, so embracing the pause.
Exactly. And in that stillness, perhaps in a dream or a deep meditative state, the path reappears. But crucially, it's not around the gate, but through it. She sees a hidden opening in the stone, marked with a sigil she had overlooked in her haste.
Ah, overlooked in her haste. So the green light energy made her rush past a detail.
It seems so. The story emphasizes it wasn't brute force or defiance that would move her forward, but patience and intuition. It really speaks to how those red light moments, those Saturnian pauses, often contain the very key we need to move forward, if only we're willing to slow down, look inward, and be still for a moment.
Wow, that's quite profound. So what was the transformative lesson Eleanor gained from this whole experience, from that initial burst of emerald light to the unyielding stone gate and finding the hidden way?
Well, when she awoke, the story says the storm had softened, almost mirroring her own inner calm. She approached the gate again, but differently this time.
With patience.
With patience and awareness. Her fingers traced these ancient carvings in the stone, which were now maybe made more visible by the rain, having washed away dirt or moss. Things she hadn't seen in her initial rush.
Details revealed by the obstacle itself.
Exactly. And with the whispered incantation, something learned perhaps in that stillness and a steady breath, actions born from that pause and intuition, the stone gate actually parted. It revealed the path once more, still lit in that same emerald green light.
Amazing.
And she stepped through, not hurried this time, but sure, and her understanding had shifted. She realized that the cosmic green light was not a promise of ease, but an invitation to courage. And crucially, that every delay was simply a lesson in disguise.
A lesson in disguise. I like that.
Her final resolution was clear. She would follow the path not because it was simple, but because it was hers. It became about owning the whole journey, the complexities, the stops and starts, not just chasing the easy parts.
The story just perfectly illustrates the astrological insights we started with, doesn't it? It maps so cleanly.
It really does.
That initial burst of energy from Mars sextile Jupiter, that's the emerald like, clearly. The surge to act, that confident push to begin.
Pure potential unleashed.
But the Sun square Saturn is undeniably the stone gate. It's the internal and external obligations, the limitations, the responsibilities that demand a pause, a check of the foundation, maybe a deeper look before proceeding.
Exactly. It's not necessarily a stop, but a strengthen. It's about building the resilience, maybe finding the right key to face what comes next, not just blindly riding the initial surge.
How often do we misinterpret those initial pushes, thinking they imply a completely clear, easy path ahead?
All the time. It's human nature to want the easy road.
Yeah. So this exploration, this deep dive, it really shows us that a green light from the universe, astrologically or otherwise, isn't necessarily a promise of smooth sailing.
No, definitely not.
It's often more like an invitation to courage, like Eleanor found, to trust your intuition even when things get tough. And to understand that resistance isn't always a hard no. Sometimes it's a redirection or maybe just a call for that stillness, for patience before proceeding.
Yeah, or a call to find a different kind of strength, an inner resource you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
Like Eleanor's intuition.
Yeah. It's a fantastic reminder then that true wisdom comes not just from receiving signals from the universe or our gut or wherever, but from interpreting them with patience and an open mind, not jumping to conclusions based on just the first signal.
It asks us to hold both energies, the push and the pause.
So for you listening, how might recognizing these natural green lights and maybe these stone gates or red lights in your own life transform the way you approach your biggest dreams or even just your daily challenges?
It really reminds us that every obstacle, every perceived setback can actually be a lesson in disguise. It might be pushing us to refine our approach, to strengthen our resolve, or maybe just to breathe and look closer. It's about finding that hidden opening like Eleanor did, not just banging your head against the gate.
I love that visual. Don't bang your head. Look for the sigil you missed. Well, this exploration has truly, I think, dissected that dance between seizing opportunity and navigating delay. It shows us that even when the path dims or seems blocked, the way forward is still there. It just often requires a deeper connection to our own intuition, our own inner wisdom, and yeah, a good dose of patience.
That's a powerful takeaway, isn't it? The universe isn't always giving you simple yes or no answers. Sometimes it's giving you the permission, the energy to start, and then challenging you, testing you to find the best way forward, which might not be the fastest or the most obvious way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope these insights drawn from the astrology and Eleanor's journey offer you maybe a new perspective on those moments when the universe seems to be sending decidedly mixed signals. What stands out to you most from all this? Is it the emerald light, the stone gate, the stillness?
Keep exploring those moments in your own lives. Keep questioning, keep listening deeply, and remember, your own unique emerald path is always unfolding, even, maybe especially, through the mist and the stone. Trust the process.